Well, hello, my friends. Thank you very much for joining me. This is Jason, the Canadian YouTube creator, also known as Jason Cosmic RSSP Authority. My present subscribers will know what RSSP stands for, right? But for you newbies out there, it stands for Real Secret Space Program. Way up there in space and way deep in space, millions of miles, is represented by my powerful, glorious photo in the infrared, which says, infrared photograph of one of the gigantic cylindrical objects taken by the Hubble all the way in the rings of Saturn. They're way out there, my friends, and guess who that is staffed by? It's U.S. naval officers. And if you guys watch my previous videos, I tell you several reasons why we can know that. Amazing technology, my friends. But today, we're going to talk about the F-35. And just before we do, just a quick reminder, my friends, if you guys do think I have a lot of value to share and give and have information that is to benefit, a lot of people out there, and if you appreciate my intellectual honesty, because I am trying to be bold, honest, open, and true, right from the heart, my friends. I'm trying to help provide the much needed sufficient transparency that's needed, and together we can be advocates for the truth, my friends, and break down the walls of this crazy, absurd elite secrecy. We absolutely can. We're unpacking more truth, my friends. I've always said the Real Secret Space Program, it is the most important subject of our times, if for no other reason than these free energy generation propulsion systems. Here's a TR-3B, amazing black budget technology. But again, here we go on Lockheed Martin's F-35. That's right, my friends. This will be part 3 on the F-35, because on the other videos, I didn't talk about the recent combat flights of this thing. That's right. Did you guys hear? April 30th, 2019, the United States Air Force, Lockheed Martin's F-35 Lightning II Joint Striker Fighter, they also call it the Stealth Fighter quite often. You guys will hear me talk about a lot in the videos that stealth is just a scam in the military, my friends. Remember, Russia and China, long time ago, these countries, they figured out how to get a cross-section signature radar on the screen from these planes. I mean, come on, it's a total scam. But anyway, right? So they call it the Lightning II. They sent 2 of those for the first time, that particular plane, in its first combat mission to attack ISIS stronghold positions there in Iraq. Okay? And guess what they were doing? They were bombing caves and tunnels. Now keep in mind, my friends, the ISIS evil groups that we keep hearing about, who created ISIS? It was the American CIA largely, right? Because they instigated us to go to war in Iraq with all the unnecessary bloodshed, right, my friends? I mean, this is what they do. They create all this chaos around the world and in the Middle East. It's all about injecting their power, trying to consolidate this crazy power in the Middle East, all about oil and gas, all about money, and therefore bloodshed, my friends, because it's about defense contracts largely, right? It's all about conflict within the military. We got to keep this in mind, my friends, and look at real history and what's going on here. So anyway, but we got to give credit to Lockheed Martin, right? Why? Because this was their first debut, their first introduction to combat, again with the Lightning Joint Strike Fighters. And what better way to do your debut than to do it on an unsophisticated, uncomplicated mission, right? On an undefended target. I mean, that's what they did. I mean, just ridiculous. I say ridiculous, and yet I'm congratulating them. I'm being sarcastic, my friends. They shouldn't be congratulated. But anyway, so there's that flight. And now, did you guys hear so it was September in 2018, where you had the Marine Corps, which was the first U.S. service to fly the F-35 combat missions to attack Taliban positions over there in Afghanistan. That's right. And so you had, therefore, and right after that, of course, you had 100 actually it was over 100 F-35Bs, they call them, these F-35Bs, and those sources were in Afghanistan, Iraq, and Syria. And that aircraft was deployed from the amphibious assault ship called the USS Essex, all right? And so the Marine F-35s, their original attack there, their strike in Afghanistan, and just before that you had F-22s that destroyed the Taliban drug labs over there, my friends, okay? And there was just as much, there was just as much criticism and on this thing as there was praise at the time. Why? Because of the price of the cost of the aircraft, my friends, right? Because of the price and the use of this aircraft, it's outrageous. Oh, by the way, before I tell you why and expand on that, on the criticism, I think the first bloodshed for the F-35 was probably from the Israeli Air Force, they're saying, right? Because they had the first F-35s going over Syria, all right? Just a quick side note there. But yeah, there was so much, there was a lot of turmoil and criticism because, you know, especially the media, they realized too, my friends, I've told you before, there's been over $1 trillion spent on this program. I just read some newspaper articles. They did a good job talking about these missions, although they didn't talk how much money has been spent on this program. Over $1 trillion for over 20 years on this thing, my friend. I mean, finally, and they finally, as they say, do their first combat missions, again, on a totally defenseless target, basically. I mean, we'll get into that later. It just blows my mind, man. It's just, but, so we got to give them credit, hardly. Anyway. And so that was 2018, my friends. And again, the price of the aircraft, this is what's so crazy about this, my friends. It's $35,000 per hour of flying time for, you know, an F-35 mission, right? $35,000 per flying hour, $77,000 per flying hour for the F-22. And let's talk about the cost of the aircraft. You know, Lockheed Martin's propaganda machine, has said in the other video, my friends, they keep saying that it's about $100 million a plane, right? Well, if you talk to Pierce Spray, the real expert who describes this plane as a turkey, and you got to listen to Pierce Spray, my friends, he knows what he's talking about. He tells you it's going to be more like $200 million a plane. Come on, especially when it's all said and done. I mean, a lot of money. 100 million is a lot of money and outrageous, right? How about closer to 200 million? And the F-22, that's $400 million, you know, to bomb tunnels and huts over there in these countries. So that's what we're looking at here. And I haven't even talked about the maintenance on the thing, my friends, right? You know, I told you before in the other video that we've reached a point in the F-35 where it costs more to repair the aircraft than it does to fly it. Absolutely. So, and here's the thing too, my friends. The Russia and the Syrian governments, of course, they have what they call anti-aircraft missiles, right? They have anti-aircraft missiles in Syria, but they're not even actively aimed at the U.S. ships. So the point being, the United States, the American F-35, my friends, it has very little opportunity to engage and encounter sophisticated enemy interceptors and surface-to-air missiles, right? Absolutely. There's no opportunity there, really. And the bottom line here, my friends, to add is that, in other words, this isn't even designed to be priced as a cheap counterinsurgency aircraft, right? Absolutely not. You know, again, like, you know, cheap counterinsurgency aircraft. And so, yeah, the main point about that was, in other words, my friends, here's an example that you don't need so-called stealth. Stealth, again, is a scam within the military, my friends. It absolutely is. Russia and China, a long time ago, and other countries, they figured out how to get radar signatures from any plane. Even the F-35, my friends. Come on. And we'll get into videos on the TR-3B, the real exotic technology, the black budget technology, my friends, that would literally leave the F-35s in the dust. I said that on the last video. These things are stealthy, my friends. This is free energy. These things can loiter, they can hover, and they can accelerate thousands of miles an hour within seconds. And the F-35 sure as hell can't do that, my friends. And these are relying on rockets. You think this is good for the environment? I don't think so. So my point is, my friends, we don't need so-called stealth. You don't need anti-radar technology or advanced sensors to bomb and take out rifle-armed militants hiding in caves somewhere, right? No, of course not. But this is what's going on. It's so ridiculous, isn't it? Outrageous. Yes. So, and here's the thing too, my friends. You know, again, the cost of the aircraft is just something I can't even get over, my friends. You know, they've been raiding the taxpayers on this thing, again, for over 20 years, my friends, right? It's so crazy. And the F-35 itself, it's supposed to be a predecessor for World War II and World War I. You know, the aircraft back then, right? It's meant for big war. It's meant to battle powerful countries of influence with major capabilities, okay? Supposedly. I mean, and yet, you know, going back, my friends, remember when I told you that there's little opportunity for a U.S. F-35 to encounter sophisticated enemy interceptors and surface-to-air missiles? Well, you know, you might be able to do that. You might have those opportunities if you were to have a bombing campaign over North Korea or Iran or Russia or China. But if you do that, of course, what are you going to have? I mean, the technological prowess, in other words, of the F-35 is going to be the least of the American concerns, right? I just want to add that. I mean, obviously, right? So the whole point is, my friends, we don't need an F-35. I've been saying this over and over again, my friends. We don't need fleets of F-35s. And we're going to be talking about other countries' involvement in this in future videos. Okay? So, and here's the thing too, my friends. Again, the price of the aircraft, and now, you know, speaking of the aircraft and all there's so many problems with the F-35, my friends. So many problems with this aircraft. I'll give you an example, right? There's problems with the computers. There's problems with the sensors. There's problems with the cockpit displays on this. There's problems, of course, with maintenance, getting the repair parts on this thing, and the maintenance costs and repairs are just astronomical. I mean, this is just insanity, my friends. And again, a huge, huge cash cow for Lockheed Martin. That's what it is, my friends. And so there's all these problems with the aircraft, and so now they wonder, well, how is the F-35 going to even fare against the latest Chinese and Russian weapon systems, right? It's not going to fare very well, I'm telling you. And so what you got, my friends, you know, and the testing and the development of this aircraft, it's being rushed now, right? It absolutely is. Because God forbid if America's, you know, most expensive weapons program becomes a flop, right? I hope it does become a flop. And in other words, you know, if they can't solve these problems, if these problems are not mitigated, then there's the consequences of American Lockheed Martin's premier, you know, amazing so-called stealthy aircraft fighter. This premier combat aircraft, the consequences for American Lockheed Martin, my friends, it'll be a national disaster, right? It's going to have so many consequences that it's going to be horrifying just to even contemplate the failures of ending this thing. But I hope they do fail, my friends, and they absolutely should. Lockheed Martin have been, here's an example, my friends. They have been totally free. They have been divorced, in other words, from any encumbered responsibility and accountability that I can see. Do you guys see any accountability and responsibility from Lockheed Martin raiding millions and millions of dollars, actually trillions now, from taxpayers, my friends' pockets? Canada, right? The United States in particular, but other countries as well. Denmark, Australia, UK, all the countries. I mean, there's other countries involved in this thing too. Japan. I mean, we'll go on other videos talking about the other countries involved. I did in the other video, my friends. At least 9 other countries. I mean, it's hard to even fathom, my friends. Lockheed Martin's propaganda machine, they always got their foot on the gas, don't they? You know, trying to convince other countries to go along with this. It's all about defense contracts. And I said in my last video, my friends, right? Why don't Raytheon, Lockheed Martin in particular, but why not, and Boeing and these other huge defense contractors, my friends, in Northrop Grumman, why don't they get out of their warmongering selves, okay, and put all this money towards where it should be going, right? For our beautiful nursing homes and our beautiful nurses trying to help the sick and ultimately helping the sick. Why isn't it going to help retirement homes, the quality of old age homes, my friends? Why isn't it going towards helping the poor, in other words? Why is not all this money not going to help our infrastructure? Because it can, my friends. The amount of pots of money over the years, probably about $1.5 trillion already spent on this for over 20 years, my friends. All that money can do just that. And we don't need an F-35, my friends. We don't need Lockheed Martin to be building this ridiculous aircraft and using my beautiful, powerful country of Canada, by the way. Canada is the 4th leading distributor of aluminum in the world, okay? And they're probably putting a lot of that on this ridiculous craft. But anyway, you know, I just want to end on this note, my friends, and tell you that, again, we don't need an F-35, my friends, all right? And it will be a national disaster if this thing ends as a failure, and I hope it does, my friends. And we can add the public vitriol and let's stop using willful ignorance, my friends. Let's stop being not interested in this thing. This is very important. This is basically a social and moral injustice, my friends, of the highest order. It absolutely is. Now you got bloodshed going on using this craft, raiding the taxpayers for years and years. And where's all the money going, my friends? Do you ever ask yourselves, guys? I hope I can maybe ignite your fertile imaginations out there and your curiosity, and to dig in for the truth here. Where is the money going? I'll get into it on the next videos, rest assured, my friends. But hint, hint, how about the black budget technology? It absolutely is, my friends. And therefore the real secret space program. These craft that swiftly move into space, my friends, going all over our solar system. Particularly the moon and Mars, no doubt about it. In these shadow groups that are in control of the UFO file, my friends, okay? And the F-35, again, it sure as hell can't compete with the TR-3B out of the Aurora space program. Absolutely not. So the point being, my friends, the F-35 is a distraction largely. It absolutely is. And we need to stop this ridiculousness. We need to compel the good people in Lockheed Martin, because I think there are still some good people in Lockheed Martin, my friends. And I always will give them credit. They have the best scientists and engineers, absolutely. But apparently most of this, a lot of people, you know, with this huge big defense contractor, Lockheed Martin, my friends, they are just out of control. They've consolidated way too much power. They're controlling all the data in the U.S. federal government. I told you that on the last video or the video before. So they're out of control, my friends, okay? And we need them to just be accountable for all this money wasted on this plane, my friends, that we absolutely don't need, okay? And I told you on the last video, actually as well, my friends, that, you know, now, you know, you do have a certain amount of people backing this thing. You've got the generals backing it and the lobbyists, and they convince Congress to go along with this fraud, this scam, I would describe, this duplicitous military scheme, my friends, right? Absolutely. And because the generals have their reputations riding on the F-35 now, my friends, because they've been backing it for so many years, okay? And a lot of these people, I'm sure, are great American patriots in their own way. But let's stop gouging the taxpayers. Let's get out of this program. Let's stop it, my friends, okay? And bombing tunnels and caves, give me a break. Come on. They can use we know they can use sophisticated bombs from other planes to do that. And again, who created ISIS, my friends? It was largely the CIA, right? Come on, American CIA. So, and you know, America's still a great country, my friends. There's no question about it. There's a lot of great people in America, great people in these defense contractors, even Lockheed Martin, my friends. But let's put things into perspective and let's compel some good people in Lockheed Martin, get out of the warmongering, get out of yourselves, and let's put that money to good use. I would just love to see Lockheed Martin do something amazing for the nation and for people around the world and put that money finally to where it belongs, to us, the public, my friends, and helping the poor people, helping the sick people out there, people that need healing, right? And helping build our infrastructure on our precious planet. That's where all these trillions of dollars should be going, my friends. They have spent twice as much money as sending a man to the moon already. They said in the years to come it would cost twice as much as sending a man to the moon. We're already at that point, I believe, my friends. And certainly, you know, it's just over $1 trillion spent on this program. I said in the last video, my friends, again, The amount of money spent on this program, there was an estimate saying the amount of money spent in this program could buy every homeless person in the USA a $600,000 match. That's right. And when you add up the pots of money, my friends, no doubt about it. I think that's an accurate statement. It's just outrageous, right? And evil, really. I mean, this is, we got to get out of this, okay? Thank you guys so much for listening to me today. I appreciate your time sincerely, and I hope you guys will subscribe to my channel. I hope you'll give me that thumbs up. And of course, feel free to share my videos. I meant to say that at the beginning of this video. And let's take this channel to the next level. I know we can, my friends. All right? Thanks, guys. More great videos to come. We'll talk more on the F35. Hopefully do part 4 and 5 maybe of this series. And we'll get into the black budget technology as well, my friends. And maybe comparing more of the performance of the TR-3B to the F-35. And just know it would literally leave it in the dust. No comparison. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Bye.